Adrenaline still rushing.
3, 2, 1, and boom! What's up, everybody? We are live at Break Free headquarters. My name is Jeremy, your host, along with Moy, and we are special guests today. Say hello to Hip Hop Vintage Flea Market and the great minds behind them.
Yeah.
Make some noise, y'all. What's up? Get the energy going.
Yeah.
So we got Baby Girl, Jesse, and Lucia in the house. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, man.
Good?
Awesome.
Good?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk everything from fashion to breaking to hip hop to entrepreneurship. You guys are really good friends with us, so it's great to have y'all on the show.
Glad to finally be on the show.
Yeah, about
Exactly.
time.
Yeah, you
I
guys
watch it
since
every
day one.
week.
Yeah, shout out to Jesse and Lucia.
Wait.
Yo.
You said about time. Y'all about time y'all get here.
Well, they live like an hour away, so.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremy. Thank you.
But nah, since
Wait. Hold on, bro. Let me see. Don't give them any type of clout
right,
because Jesse texted me earlier, what time do we have to be here? And I said 5:30.
Yeah.
So they knew what time they had to be here.
I know.
he couldn't figure out which fresh Nautica jacket to put on, man. Probably has a whole bunch of them, so.
Was that in your car?
No, it was in my
So we were late because he was in his closet for like 30
That's
minutes.
what I'm saying.
Don't.
Y'all closet crazy. Y'all get lost in it. I already know how it is.
So real quick, guys, this is episode number 8. So for everybody that's tuning in, episode 8 of our Break Free Worldwide podcast. We got the founders of the Hip Hop Vintage Flea Market here in Houston, Texas, a growing vintage stop for resellers in the vintage world that has just been growing every single month. It happens first Sunday of every month, and now it's been going for how long? How long now?
A year and like 3 or 4 months.
So a little over
15
a year.
months. 15 months.
A little over a year, and this team and this group of people have created something great for the city of Houston. It does not only attract vintage resellers or anybody that's into fashion. It attracts local celebrities. I know you guys just had Slim Thug stop in.
Crazy.
Yeah, I
this
just
Sunday.
called them and
Brian
was
But
like, bro,
that's not the only time. You guys had football players from the Texans and you guys have been hit up personally by like NBA players saying, hey, we're looking for this type of item.
Rough Riders DJ was there on Sunday too.
Yeah, Rough
Yeah.
Riders.
And I got an email. This is actually before we hit our 1 year, but I got an email from Bushwick Bill's agent, and I was like, "Is this a joke, or are you really like the agent for it?" He's like, "Yes, I really, really am, and I want to inquire about the market." So I was like, "You guys, we got hit up by Bushwick."
There was a
Bill's
cat from Public Enemy that was at the
Like a
market
cat?
that this
Like a little
dude.
cat?
A black cat.
I
He
remember
got on
that
the
from
microphone.
performances. He was in the military gear. He's like that. No.
Fight the power.
But it's an amazing thing what you guys got going on. It's been I've seen the growth from the very beginning of it and to where it's at now. It's pretty awesome. I know you guys every time it comes around, you guys have a waiting list of like vendors.
Yeah, it's deep now.
And
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have people waiting. Because, we've all done events. You've done events
Right.
for a long time. And
Right.
it's hard to get vendors. No
Yeah.
one ever wants to kind of, cough up some money to pay for their spot. But to have a waiting list of vendors and to have, like, confirmed vendors is already a huge plus.
Yeah.
And if you just go by inquiries,
Yeah.
could you say like 100 at least?
Daily, there's at
maybe
least
more. Every day, people
Every
are
day
hitting
there's
us up.
something. There at least a minimum of 25 just per day in general. So weekly, that just adds up to in the
So
hundreds.
why don't we start with how everything started, and you guys are obviously at this point now, but tell the story about from point one, origin story of Hip Hop Vintage Flea Market.
Yeah, there's kind of two versions of the story where it combined into one.
Well, like
technically.
So obviously, I was doing the pop-ups, right? I was doing the vintage.
Shout out to
And
Get Fresh.
Yeah.
Get fresh.
right?
Yeah.
I was the only pop-up where it had a similar feel of what the Hip Hop Flea Market
It was
has,
like the
right?
smaller version of
Exactly.
like a
Yeah.
baby
And
version of
that was the
what you guys-
first time that I actually did a pop-up was at Get Fresh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hit the big
And
one.
hey, me and Lil John, we shared a booth and we smashed
I remember that.
day.
I remember
Smashed
that.
that thing,
Shout out to
man.
Lil John. That cat had been doing that. I remember even far back at B-Boy City, like, I don't even know, like
Where he was doing
12, 11.
Lil
I
Jon
remember.
spot.
Yeah,
for
what,
years too,
even
you
before
know?
that, yeah,
It's
because
funny,
I remember
yeah.
he was like, watch my booth real quick, and it was just throwback suits
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
I remember
crazy.
at first I didn't get it. I'm like, why does that jacket cost $100?
He would tell you, I remember he would tell you straight up though. He'd be like, "Yeah, I got this 50 cents. Well, how much you want for it? $50." Wait a second.
Even when y'all had the first break free, y'all had a whole rack full of just throwback stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think like being b-boys,
Of
we
course.
collect this stuff.
Remember we used to
Exactly.
thrift
We
just
used
for the
to thrift
Adidas
for the
tracks.
Adidas, the
Yeah,
Puma
all of us
suits,
did,
and
yeah.
so it was just something that's a part of us.
Right. So fast forward, you know, to that, doing the
like,
pop-ups.
So I started doing that, right, and I was starting to get, you know, comfortable with where I was at, but the pop-ups didn't have that feel that I wanted, you know, and they would play hip-hop here and there, and it kind of felt good, and it just hit me one day, and I told one of the other resellers, I said, man, there should be a market where it's just, imagine a market with all the elements of hip-hop, right, like breaking, graffiti, DJing, and MCs, and it's just all hip hop. Oh, he's like, man, that'd be dope. Fabricio, Roundhouse, shout out to Roundhouse.
Yeah, he was our first vendor.
And
Lucia took care of it.
So that was the idea, and then I told her because she was organizing Big Girl City, you know, with Baby Girl, and so she got in Baby Girl's ear.
Well, that's not really true, but we'll go back to that in a minute.
Oh.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because I didn't know y'all were having this conversation. That's what I'm saying. There's kind of like two parts to this to the thing, but it was great. It's a great emergement. Period.
So the idea was, you know, I wanted to have a feature of a DJ, right? But like DJs that weren't known, you know. And I thought that would be cool, a good opportunity. And the same thing with the artists. You know what I mean? And I was like, imagine if you have an artist every month that you feature, and then it'd give the element of hip hop, but every month it's a different guy getting their exposure, you know?
That's cool.
And then I had the connection with the vintage world, so that was easy whenever, you know, I pitched it to them, and they were like, we're down.
So now, what's your story?
What's your version?
I remember me and Lucia was my go-to girl, B-Girl City, my partner in that.
Which we'll talk about in detail.
Yeah, for sure. And so there was that part where we started delegating like specifics that, you know, obviously there was just so much on my plate, of course. And she came in like a champ and was like, I was like, delegate these vendors, you know, delegate these vendors for us. And then we hosted at La Macro.
Which is the Bonnie and Clyde.
The 90s Raised Me.
No.
90s, I'm sorry. 90s.
It was Gabbo.
No.
No, fool, the name of the thing.
It was
like,
Makeups to Break Up.
Makeups to Break Up.
Makeups to Break Up.
How you feel when your wife says no food?
That's how I talk to
Good,
them.
man.
Yeah.
You're making with her too much.
North, south, south side.
I call these
Hey,
big.
fool.
Thank you very much.
Hey, fool, you remember that one time, dog?
Hey fool, shut up and kiss me, alright?
I love you, fool.
I've been hanging around Echo too much, man. Shout out to Echo.
Shout out to Echo.
There you go. Put it down on the camera.
We're really tempted into
On the
saying, hey
mic
guys,
Sunday.
sorry, Echo's here. It's gonna be Echo's episode now.
Yeah,
We're really tempted to
he's
say
it
that.
down on our live feed.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
So makeups to breakups happen.
Yes.
Yes.
And so she did the vending. Of course, they had been doing the pop-ups
prior
hand to that. And so she invited Roundhouse and a couple other ones.
Lee,
And they,
Rewind, and Gabbo.
Damn, right, exactly, Gabbo. And then we had a couple of just brands that were there, like Yikes was there, and somebody else was there. So we had that little. I remember sitting back in the cut. Yeah, you came. Yeah, you came. It was a great event.
It was.
And we were sitting back in the cut, and I was like making fun of the name pop-up. You know, I was like, pop-up. Man, we've been doing this for years. Like, there ain't no pop-up. This is what events do. We host vendors, you know. Little be knowns, we just like, yeah, we should just do it, and that'd be a highlight, and then breaking would be a part of the,
Oh yeah,
the
she did
culture.
mention that. She did say that. Yeah,
And
you're
then
right.
we started. That's where the name
So I was
started
in the
creating.
middle. So, you know, I'm like helping my husband, but I'm helping my girl. So I think it was just like organically, like we all had the same vision.
It was
And so we
organically,
just did-
straight up.
And honestly, I'm super happy that happened because that's what makes our market completely original. Like 'cause
Right.
you have B Girl City and you have resale folk, so you have the vintage and you have the hip hop, and there's no other market like it.
Yeah,
So it kind of
exactly.
worked out for a reason.
So that's where the name kind of popped up. We were
I came
we
up
were
with hip
joking
hop
though,
flea market, and then she threw in the vintage.
and then we were like,
became
let's just call it hip hop vintage flea market. I think I thought when I thought a name like long was a lot. So
It is a
it
lot.
made
I
it
type
made
every
sense
time,
though.
like, why am I typing this entire thing?
But it made sense though because it's like it's like stuck in your head. Damn,
Hey,
this
but,
line
I mean,
is
look
long.
at the growth. Now your
Yeah.
Instagram is growing. I see
Yeah.
now you guys just hit
Yeah.
7,000 followers.
7K.
So it's you
Boom,
know, it's not
followers.
easy.
We didn't
It's not
buy
easy.
them.
No,
It's
we
not
didn't.
easy to build a following, you know, and so to have that rapid growth, and
Yeah.
especially in a year, it's good.
That's
And
funny.
especially now you have more people tagging it,
Yeah.
Slim
and
Thug put us
sharing
on his
it.
Instagram.
I
So
saw that.
we
That was
jumped up
dope.
like 500 followers like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's a good story, right?
Yeah.
That's now what has led to become what is today's go-to market
Yeah.
every first of the month. So
Do you have a rough estimate how many people show up? Like foot traffic?
Well, I told the guy, one of the food vendors, I told him that we average for sure, like easy 200 to 300. Like that's easy, bro.
It's probably more than that.
And but
Oh,
it's way more
Yeah, I'm
it's
talking
way
about
more
in
than
and out.
that.
Yeah.
It's way more than that. I
Right.
mean, it's about 700, maybe,
Yeah,
but even 1,000.
I
I mean, 1,000 would be
I would
easy.
easily say 500 to 1,000.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah.
But I think more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, logistically, we created an Eventbrite page, and it's not a ticket that you have to purchase to get in. Of course,
Right.
it's free, but we created just to get a mindset of like how many people do you think will come to this market. So every single month that grows and grows. So as of right now, we're sitting on 7,500 people that have just registered with Eventbrite. So that's how many heads we've
Right.
known that have come for sure.
Yeah.
People
good.
DM us and be like, "Oh man, the ticket's sold out. We can't go." We're like, no, it's free.
It's free, don't
just
worry.
it's make believe for us to come.
And how many
Right.
vendors are there every time? What's the?
We just upped that just recently.
We started at
wi-
what?
12, 13 at the first one.
The
13?
we had one row,
Big Grove City.
and it was two, one row that had two sides of it and the edges and whatnot, and then we used kind of like the Big Mo and Pimp Seawall area as well. So we started off kind of with just
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and then I think as we got into like the fourth month or third or fourth month, we added one
Added
more,
an extra row, yeah.
Wow.
and here we
To
are at
20,
4 rows now.
We
and
just
then
did
it went
43 on
25,
Sunday.
and then
Yeah.
43.
43 vendors.
So y'all cap-
43 spots.
Y'all cap it
Yeah.
at 43.
a homeboy posted up from South Carolina. South Carolina, we
Yeah.
had.
I saw a dude from New Orleans that was selling art.
Yeah.
New,
We talked to him
New
a little
Orleans.
bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, quick story on that guy. We were already booked, and this happens every single month. Somebody's like, "Please let me in. Like, I will pay
They
you
beg,
double.
bro.
Like, I just want to get in." And of course, we're not looking at that, but we're just like,
Right.
we really, really can't. Like, but then we go back to each other. Like, this is what we started to give people that opportunity. So
Right.
we're like, let's just squeeze them in somewhere. And sure enough, it always just happens to be like we can fit them in like this corner, and it
Yeah.
just always works.
Do y'all ever have anybody like flake on y'all and just say like,
Maybe
You know?
once.
Probably not anymore.
The people that have, they didn't get their vendor feedback.
But it's
Right.
always been like life related.
It's for good
like, My wife
reasons.
was in the
Right.
hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
whether
no one just to say like I'm.
Yeah.
no,
And
we
you
have
do
people
that wrong.
verbally commit, and then we're
Right.
like, okay, we put you down.
But that's why you guys have created a system to collect before you even.
Yeah.
correct.
By the
Yes.
time the deadline comes, even it doesn't matter if we're friends. Like if you haven't done it, then
Yeah.
Mid-month is
we
when
got
I put
somebody
on the
already
email.
ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Friendship
Yeah.
doesn't exist with that.
Yeah,
type of stuff.
it's business. The business hat comes on, and we have
Yeah,
to just,
yeah.
and we I think we've all
We're
personally
getting
talked to
better.
our own peoples and our own
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
and let
yeah,
them
for
know,
sure.
like, yo, this is how it has to be, and they understand. So
Yeah,
it's
of
really
course.
amazing
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
do.
So
like
Brett,
we're charging you $500 after this just for giving you the promo. So
somebody's asking some question. Someone's asking a question. Is there a limit of vendors y'all want to keep it under? Too many isn't always a good thing.
Shout
I
out to
definitely-
Vintage Fly Art. I recognize
yes.
hold up. So far you've had Enrique Galvan
Enrique,
today,
no
Keith
sir.
De Leon.
Sup, sup, sup. I like the way it sounds.
uh,
Drop a comment if you have a
Terrace
question.
Flores, Cochino Cano.
Hey,
Hey, Nate.
Yeah. And real quick though, shout out to our sponsors, Houston Media Source.
Houston Media
hey,
Source.
Yeah,
Monster
you guys know
Energy.
Alex from
Yes.
Houston Media Source. You know, Monster
thank
Energy.
God for Alex. He's been down with Big Girl City since the start of
He's
Big
the
Girl
man.
City. He is the man. Yes,
HMS
he
is the
yes. Love him, his
place to
wife,
be.
his
And
family.
Shout out to our man behind the scenes, our
MVP.
producer, MVP Josh.
Hey.
See all the camera angle switching.
Hey, hit that switch. Hit that switch, Josh.
Real quick.
Hit it again.
Oh,
Hit it again. Hit it again. One more time. One more time. That's the show, folks.
MVP moves. MVP moves.
But to go back on that question, we definitely have to limit the space because remember, there's a team of 4 there. And so with that being said, we have to make sure that we man everything that's going on the property and make sure that it's being respected. And
Of course.
we have to
Because
keep
there
our
has
eyes
almost
on
been a
things.
fight. There's
I was
almost
just
been a
gonna get
fight.
into that. Have
Was
you
it?
guys had any
Yeah,
like?
with us.
Oh, that wasn't with,
Wait,
okay,
what?
yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Not with us personally.
Yeah, have you
No.
guys had any issues where
Yeah.
something like
We
that,
have had a couple
or
little,
threats or anything? Because it's
No, not
it's such
threats.
it's such an open event
it is.
that like
But
You know,
I want to
anything can
emphasize that it's positive hip hop, right?
Very,
And
very
so
positive.
everybody that goes, they kind of have that idea, like they're not gonna go start drama, you know. And I think people are so tight with us
Yeah.
that they respect it in that sense that they're not gonna go start no drama.
Right.
So luckily
Right.
there hasn't been no real tension.
So
Right.
we're really big on you have to be a registered vendor. You have had to have communicated with
Yes.
us. You've had to pay your vendor fee. You've had to be in the vendor email list where all the information goes. Like you have to be official. You can't just show up in your car and I got this stuff and sell on the side.
That's a no-no, bro.
That is a no. We
You
will
get
No,
kicked
no,
out.
no.
Don't do that.
C's will go up to you.
So in the very beginning,
How often does that happen?
well, in the very beginning that
once in a
happened.
while,
So,
every
Or
market.
are they trying to sell on the side? They're
Yes.
just trying to
So on
piggyback
the
I'm
off.
side-
from out of town,
Yes.
man. I came all
Yeah.
the way down here from such and
On
such.
the
I'm not gonna
side
say
of
a
the
city because they
building
might
Well,
know.
I've seen a few people do that this past.
Oh yeah,
market.
yeah.
Yeah,
We had an issue with
and
that.
that's what
Walking
she
around
and that's
with
what she means, like
shoes
crowd
and-
control.
yeah.
Like we have to be able to
Right.
facilitate and go around to all these people.
And there's so
get-
many people there
So
this
again,
past
it's
Those
just
are
month.
four
the
of us.
roaches.
It's just four of us, bro. So you think about four of us in between 600-700 people. It's kind of hard, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some little eyes here and there that help out a little bit, so we kind of, know if we're getting a little busy.
For people who don't know,
We
describe.
call those snitches in the hood.
Snitches, snitches.
Those are
Rats.
And they
snitches.
tap our shoulders all day long.
For people
Yeah.
who don't know, describe where it's at, the venue, like the outside place where it is.
Baby girl is my
Better
aunt.
known for the graffiti walls in Houston, right?
Oh, it's my nephew.
Right around off 2811 Leland Street. That's the physical address.
Yes.
But
Right
it's
next
in a
to-
parking lot where pretty much it's a touristy area with
It
all
is.
the graph, right? And of course, our very own C's. He painted the Big
Iron
Mo and the Iron Man.
So
Everybody
C's,
loves
who
the Iron
couldn't
Man.
be here, is
My
your
husband.
Tell
He's-
everybody, because we keep saying C's, but maybe other
Yeah.
people
Joe.
won't know who he is.
Who is he?
C's is a Houston-based graffiti artist, also one of the instructors here at Break Free for the art
Yeah.
program. He's been in the game forever, as far as we've known each
20
other.
years plus.
20 years
Of course.
plus, exactly.
What's up, C's?
What up,
Hey,
C's,
he's at
babe?
work
I
right
love
now.
you. He is. He's at work.
Tattooing.
Hardworking
Caesar
man.
salad.
And so he's done a lot of work for the property and has a personal relationship with them, so they can call him and, hey, we want this mural. It's done and
Yeah.
said and done or whatnot. So
And I want to shout him out too, just because he recently did this huge thing with Travis Scott in
Yes.
his Astroworld tour, right?
Yes.
That's
The
pretty
hottest
big.
artist in the world.
Yeah, he's
And he's from
number one.
H-Town, too.
He's number one on the
That's my
Billboard right
husband.
now,
Yeah.
right, from H-Town.
Selling
But
out.
to have C's go out there and showcase his
Yeah.
artwork for Travis Scott is it's
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't get a chance to meet him,
Yeah.
just the idea of everybody going up there, tagging him, taking pictures,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope.
People
It is.
actually came to this market like thought he was gonna have like the
Ready for his
trailers or like
stuff,
the
yeah.
prints, like where's all the Travis Scott stuff? But unfortunately, he said it's in
he
the
just gets
process.
really busy. It's obviously time consuming with, a lot of the stuff and projects that he does. So he just tries to make sure that if anything, we wanted to make sure he went, paint it live or whatnot. But he'll have stuff to offer in the
he's
future.
a tattoo artist,
He's
so
a
that's
tattoo
probably why he
artist.
couldn't be here, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he works at Shaw's off of Westheimer and Dunlove. Go see him. He's
Hey,
there
wait
Monday
a
through
minute.
Friday.
Wait, Shaw's, we're coming for a royalty on that.
And you can catch him here on Monday nights for classes. Remember, your first class is always free.
All right, we'll take that royalty back.
You're so crazy. So yeah, I mean, he has a huge part in a lot of the stuff that he does in the background. A lot of our graphics for the flyers, everything you see, all the flyers is all C's. We'll discuss like kind of what we think we want to kind of roll with the next month, and so C's makes it come alive for us.
And again, I have to be like the soft male, and he's the more aggressive male. So when something's going on, be like, bro, you gotta go holler at him, bro, because I'm about to go hit him up. I'm like, all right, man, I got it, dog, I got it. And then I'll go and I'll approach that person, and I can see him like 10 feet away.
He's
like,
watching
in the corner
him.
of my eye, and he's like,
Get it done.
Yeah.
what do you say? I'm like, yeah, it's cool, bro. Like, all right.
He definitely keeps us in check when we're like, cause he's definitely like he's always back here. He doesn't try to like be in the forefront, but he does keep us in check. Like, somebody's selling him. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go talk to him. But Lucy, don't be nice to him. Like, check him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not confrontational. Of course, I'm gonna be like, but he's like, nah, you gotta go over there. Like, looks scary. Like he tries to
Or
check.
she'll come get me.
But you can
gotta
catch
go,
him
gotta
painting.
go.
He paints live every
Yeah,
single
he
month.
does.
Yeah.
Every month. So,
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure you use that platform to put his work out there, because for a long time he didn't do, like, he just sat in the cut and just make sure things
I
were
would
going
tell him
right.
Countless times.
He is
I
now.
think the
He is
first
now.
the first month this year he sold, I don't want to say how much, but he sold a really nice painting
Yeah.
to a person who didn't even know about the market,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even aware. They just popped up, they heard the crowd, they showed up, they saw him painting it live, and they bought it from him.
Yes.
Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Nate?
so
I think that's Nate.
Isn't
we
it?
had it looks Cedric Hicks, which is Seti B.
Seti.
So shout out to the culture, why we so dope. And then we got
'Cause you're a
Joan
homie.
Carry On. Is that? I think that's.
That's just the
Student.
yeah.
Shout out to my mentor C.
She's starting to
Aw.
teach more.
We got
Yes.
Pedro Lucky.
Shout out to her.
Yay.
Showing love.
Hey.
Thanks for taking care of our
Oh,
beer
man.
booth this
Lucky.
And
week.
then
We
Lucky
sent
now
out-
we,
held it
we have
down.
we have a question. We have Nate Cochino Cano says thoughts on the vintage game, growth in Houston, positive and negative compared to other big cities. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Y'all could take that. It's
So it's-
definitely more vintage.
As far as the growth, it's blown
booming.
up.
It's booming.
Business is booming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, whenever you have,
What's up? Let me get it where I'm
when you have
Come
your,
on, bro.
I mean, you know, Jeremy still low key be doing, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, not really, not anymore. But otherwise, I'd be at the y'all's market.
That's why he's
You
selling
got
the
your
yard on
line
the
though.
side.
You got your line though. That line
But-
is nice.
Yeah,
Look,
thank
Yeah, you can always do
low
that at
key-
the market.
Low
Yeah.
key, like, it does irritate you sometimes when you see that somebody else is doing it. You're like,
Well, that's part of the
Man.
game. That's
It's part of the
anything
game,
you
though,
do.
right?
It's just gonna keep happening.
right?
Yeah.
But then, high key on the positive side, it's cool because it's not drugs. You know,
Yeah.
they're selling clothes, bro.
And a lot of
And
these guys are
these-
young kids.
There's a kid out there that started when he was 18, and he owns his own store
Shout out to Broke Boys.
at Pasadena
Josh.
Town Square.
Yeah, it's
Helps his
amazing.
mom pay her bills, putting his sister through
He ain't
school. He
broke
bought a
no more.
car.
Nice.
Like
yeah.
these are young businessmen, and they're learning like this little game, and they're still going to school at the same time, but at the
Yeah.
same time they have a positive hustle, and we're always down.
That's one thing I do like. I want to say about our vendors too. Like, man, all of our vendors, they're a little bit like all of us. We're a little crazy. We're out there having fun. We're out there just trying to meet people. We're out there just trying to just have that love flow. Like they're so dope, So they're really inviting to the people that are coming just to the market itself,
Yeah.
Just on that note,
So
Positive
going
hip-hop.
back to this question, so like, how does it compare to other big cities, whether it's positive or negative?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Is
I mean,
it
you've been to like LA round 2,
So
Rose
I'll
Bowl.
tell you this, bro.
All that. What separates y'all's from those events over there in the West? Because obviously, like
The
that's
elements.
where the epicenter of the vintage
Right.
game is.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
in LA and with Sean and round 2,
Right.
and that's why
Shout
everything
out to
is
them.
is the way it is.
Shout out to them. They put me on their episode last month, so.
But so what do you think separates, or what did y'all pull from them? What makes y'all different from those that you see out there?
Definitely the H-Town flavor, right? We still got a little bit of Southside, but we're still very underground hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people
And
when
Northside.
when they come to the market, they hear the music and they're like, man, this is what I listen to, but other people don't play
Which
that.
is why
right?
Slim Thug stopped by, because he was coming from Eighth Wonder, and when he stopped by, I mean,
He just heard it.
He just heard it, and
He
so
just
I
heard
actually I went up to him because I was like, this is my chance. Like, let me just not be
Yeah.
shy. So I went up to him and I was like, hey, thank you so much for coming through, da-da-da. And he was like, I just saw it from the street, and I just had to stop. Like, I didn't know what it was. I don't know who you guys are, but I just needed to stop here. And sure enough, vendors were, like, throwing him some of their gear.
Got all
and
kinds
some,
of free
he got
gear.
a whole bunch of free stuff. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to have him out there.
It was
But-
dope because it came in right when we were having the actual open mic too. It just
Yeah, shout out to
organically
Echo.
just all
Shout out to
happening.
Echo.
Echo the freestyle king. But going back to the question, comparing it to like Rose Bowl, it's way different. Rose Bowl has
It's a straight flea market.
thousands of
Straight flea
people
market.
that go, and there's hundreds of
Yeah,
vendors.
They
Rose
sell
Bowl is
rugs,
crazy.
plants.
And honestly,
It
man,
is
like
crazy.
with our market, they always used to say, people would say, you can't have too many urban streetwear because nobody's gonna eat, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You might sell a little bit, and then whenever our market happened,
That's a lie.
It's a lie.
That's a lie. The flavor that it brought, man, people. I mean, everybody eats.
Because
Let's put it
there's
that
a
way.
taste for everybody.
There
Yeah.
is.
It's like
Yes,
when
definitely an
like
acquired
when
taste for everybody.
Houston would do or still does the international festival.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like it's all these different food
Okay.
vendors, all
Yeah.
these different arts and crafts people that are selling their style and their tradition of their countries or
Big old
whatever.
turkey
So
legs.
there's a taste for everybody.
There
right?
is. There
so
is. There
everybody's
really
gonna
is.
be able to eat.
It's the same
right?
thing as clothing brands.
People that
I've
just say
always
that
said
just
that.
haters.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
they're
figure
just
there's some haterade going on there. But like even just with brands itself, how many brands are out there? There's so many
many.
brands. That's why we never had a problem sharing that with
Yeah.
our community. Like
Right.
it's not a problem. We can all eat here. Everybody has a different perspective
And
on
then-
what they want to do.
And then ultimately, if you guys are building something, like
Right.
you just got to believe in what you're building. right?
Exactly.
And whoever keeps popping up, right? You said
That's what it
at one
starts
point it kind of bothered you. It
Right.
seemed
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's part of the game. It's going to
Yeah.
continue to
It
happen.
just
But as
happened.
long as you believe in your product or
Right.
whatever it is that you guys are building,
Bro,
that's
we're
all that matters, right?
totally confident with what we
Oh, yeah.
do, which is why it actually doesn't bother us because we're like, man,
Everybody
the
does
community really messes with us, And when I
Yeah.
say that, I mean all the communities surrounding 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, North Side,
Yeah.
Southwest, South Side, Southeast, all of them, they all come around and, I mean, you saw the different types of people, walks of life that come through. You
Yeah.
know, they
it's
really dig
it's
the
dope.
market.
I mean,
from the youngest to the oldest, you'll see there. You know,
Yes.
like it's crazy.
Yes,
And
man.
every
really dope.
An
Yeah.
old man, one time Palmer was DJing, and there's a clip on the Hip Hop Flea Market. A guy, he was probably like in his 70s,
Yeah.
and he heard James Brown, and Palmer was playing James Brown, and he went
Started
over
getting
there,
down.
and he
He
just
did.
started.
Started getting down.
He just started
Yeah.
scooting because he was just like,
Scooting.
man,
Scooting?
he was walking by, dude, and he just had to go because he heard the
Stop.
music. Yeah.
But
that's
that,
tight.
just those moments when we witness that, it pushes us even more. Like, man, this is why we do this. When we see the little kids out there dancing and their moms dancing with them, and the families together, like. And I want to, there's a huge misconception that because it's a hip hop vintage flea market that it's just for people who like hip hop or people in the hip hop culture, and that's not what it's about. Because, and I shared this story with them after this Sunday.
Well, I was about to say, I saw a post that you made
Yeah.
that people were saying,
Some messed up
so many
stuff.
negative things
Yeah.
about the market because it's such an open event that there's going to be shootouts and there's going to be people getting jumped and robbed. And
Who was
saying
blah, blah,
They said,
Right.
I predict
But-
there's gonna be a drive-by
Yeah,
shooting.
people
Yeah,
predict-
somebody tagged her in one of the news
Eyewitness
clips.
News shared us.
Yeah, they
So
shared
when you're
us.
on a platform, when you follow Channel 13.
Oh, you mean like the Facebook comments that
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
leaves?
don't read those. I know the rule. Don't read those comments.
Those
but
are called internet trolls.
exactly.
What were
But
they saying?
They said, first of all, they said, oh, it looks like another shootout's going to happen. Where's the drive-by? Or something like that. And then another person said that.
It's because look at the way you're dressed. Do something about
I know,
that.
God.
And then another person said, are we going to have abortion booths there? And I just thought that was so messed up. I was just like, just because you see the word hip-hop, you're affiliating us with trash you've
With
seen on the
drive-by
movies.
shootings
And like,
and
What does
that-
abortion have to do with hip hop?
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's
Exactly.
That's
That's
all
the
the same
background.
notion of
Total
what.
misconception.
That's the same notion we've been dealing with for years in hip hop, right? I mean, you've always heard
Still,
because
to this day.
exactly. I mean, this has been far back from the 70s, and I told her I'm glad that you said something because maybe you should have, because that's what people fight for on
I
a regular
commented
basis
back.
for that. But is it going to get through somebody's head at that moment? No, but you said something, so
Did you
that's
do
the
the
good
thumb,
thing.
the
you
thumb
know?
down?
If
No,
it makes
I
you,
actually sent
if
the
it makes you
picture.
feel better
Yeah,
that
of
you said
course.
something, then all good. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Yeah, it doesn't
whether
matter.
you said something, you didn't say something,
Yeah.
it
Can't
doesn't really
satisfy
matter.
everybody.
People
No.
are gonna feel and think whatever they want to think,
Exactly.
feel whatever they want.
I mean,
to
that's-
feel,
Find out where
and
that
say
guy
whatever they wanna
lives.
say.
and then throw a market
His
on
name
the
is
street,
something
on his
on-
street,
his
right
name is
outside
like
of the.
Billy Blue. So Billy Blue out there, you're completely wrong.
Boo, Billy
Damn you,
Blue.
Billy Blue.
Billy Blue, put on
Ooh,
a Tommy,
Billy
put on a
Blue.
Tommy jacket and chill, bro. Damn, all right. Put on some polo.
Yeah.
Billy
Chill.
Blue, low key, is a freaking vintage reseller making thousands
Right,
of dollars
right.
Yeah.
every
He's cold.
week.
He's killing it on eBay, huh?
That's why he's mad at y'all.
Yep.
Y'all
But-
are his
No, but-
clients.
But also another thing about our market, the uniqueness of it is that we are a part of the culture, so it's easy for our people to come and enjoy it like that, like an old jam at the park in New York, right?
Yeah.
It has that vibe, and every time people come, you can't fake that vibe. It's just there. When there's
Right.
30 people doing this, you
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't fake that. It's
Yeah.
not. You can't even pay for that to happen.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and
just
that's
a feeling.
something. That's something that I witnessed personally. Like everyone there doesn't look bored. Everyone's having a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard to create because we go to jams, we go to like hip hop events, breaking events,
Yeah.
and you see people bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't see anybody bored.
At
at
most,
their
People
cribs.
taking
majority of all gyms.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I mean,
Taking
people have
naps.
naps at
Falling
jams
asleep,
nowadays.
like, the whole
Yeah.
time, yeah.
That's the amazing part too, because my boys, they grew up in the culture with me, since they're babies, and they're grown men now. They're 23 and 20.
Shout out to
And
Xavier and
shout out to
Richard.
Xavier and Peanut. And so he's gonna be like, Mom, why'd you call me Peanut? Rich, my bad.
Richie.
Rich homie Quan.
Yeah.
Rich
So
nut.
like since the market has happened, they've come every month. They enjoy it. They love it. They just after this, I think when we went home, they were like, Mom, what you and Dad, Lucy and Jesse do, my God, like they're just. I think it really hit them, Like,
Yeah.
So it's amazing to know.
It's tough, your
it's
kids tough, and
care
that's what
about
I
what
wanted
you're
to go
doing.
into next. Is that like now, even though you guys started this because it was something that you love to do, and
Yeah.
you guys are like vintage resellers on the side, outside of organizing events.
Yeah.
B girls, B boys, you guys are part of the culture. But now, like from a business standpoint, it's like it's becoming a business.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? And you were saying like, hey, we put our business hat on. This is how we do things.
Right.
This is how it has to be.
Right.
Now, what is the response that you guys get personally from friends or just from anybody when you guys put that business hat on? Because
Hey,
I'm
put me
sure
down.
there's plenty of people that come up to you and say, hey man, can Can I get a hookup?
All the
Can I
time.
do this? Can I do
All the
that?
time.
Nobody
You know?
gets a discount. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are.
I haven't
first
got
of
really
all.
that. I haven't got that from people asking. Other than like, oh, can't
You know,
get
because-
on the list.
But on a
Because
positive-
hold on, real
list
quick,
of
because
anything.
when it comes to like culture and community,
Yeah.
and then business,
Right.
like people don't like for that to mix.
To mix.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to find that balance and have to figure it out. But
Yeah.
it becomes very
Yeah.
controversial.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not doing it for the love?
Exactly.
You need that money? You need that vendor fee?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And,
But-
and
but-
people think that too, like, oh, y'all taking all this vendor, like, you
Yeah, they
put a
think that
lot
we're
back
trying to
into
get
that
But it
market.
excessive
doesn't matter.
vendors
It
to
doesn't-
game to get more money, and
God,
really,
no.
it kind of grew the way it did by accident,
Yeah.
and it made it better.
But
I
that's what makes it better is that
Right.
it just grows organically. But I was
Right.
gonna say it doesn't matter though, because at the end of the day, you're not just there watching an event. You're working the event.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are there. Okay, when everybody comes set up at 10, your day probably started at 5 or 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Loading
Yeah.
everything up,
Yeah.
setting up,
Yeah.
contacting the
Yeah.
DJs,
Yeah.
the vendors, like and the process starts a month
Yeah.
prior
Yeah.
or 2 months prior.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We
So,
literally
like,
live this
the
market.
If
next
you
day
can
it's
get paid
like-
for that, why not? People are
Yeah.
tripping if they are. And
Well, honestly, to backdoor that anyway, just that market has helped fund B Girl City. A portion of that money, I quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of reasons, but I stepped out on faith. You know,
your job.
to do. Don't quit your job. Please,
No,
B-boys
you-
work.
you quit your job because you're pursuing your passion. So
Yes.
I'm not clapping because I'm
Yeah.
saying, hey, quit.
No,
It's
I'm
because
proud
it's
of her
no,
because
no.
she was going to work and she was coming home with migraines. Like, I hate my job. And when you get to that point and
You
you're
gotta
doing
quit.
something
It's-
like Big
yeah.
Girl
It's
City,
hard.
Right there.
Well,
It's hard. It's
I
hard
loved
to take
what
that
I
leap,
loved what I
right?
did. You know, I was a nurse for an OBGYN care, so to take care of women in pregnancy, was a beautiful thing. You know, but you start working with doctors that when quantity over quality, that changes for me, and that's just in life in general. You know what I mean? So I didn't respect that. So I had already told myself when my son was in 9th grade, by the time he graduated, I was going to quit and I was going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of little things that affected that automatically kind of helped me push that step to do it. So
Yeah.
that's where that came from. And so being that it's been now 2 years that I've been out of work, you know, the market happened, you know, thank God, because a portion, again, of that goes into B Girl City. So this market has helped fund B Girl City. A lot of that money don't go into just paying bills or things like that. Although if I have that right, I have that right. You know, it's
Yeah.
the hard work that we put in every month, you know, and that's just anybody when you,
don't
have your
need
own
to tell
business.
anybody where your money
Exactly.
goes.
I know, but still, I think people
But
need to
helps
hear it,
fund
though.
B Girl City,
No,
which
no,
is an all-female
agree.
event
Right.
that is a great event,
Right.
and it's the only event that exists in the South like that.
Yeah. Well,
So tell us now, since we're talking about Big Girl City, tell us a little bit about Big Girl City.
B Girl City, I took the torch over from it in 2015 from my friend D Nice, Austin, Texas swing team, original swing team.
Denise.
Hey. And so she did it in 2005, Austin, Texas, 2006, and then she moved forward with going into New York and doing it with Honey Rockwell and Rockefeller at Bronx Museum in 2017. That was the last one. So they did 3. 2000, I'm sorry, 5, 6, 7, yes. And then,
Last year.
where was I? And so, fast forward, she, you know, kind of stopped breaking, and, you know, life is life, you know. Takes over work, whatnot, school, things like that, and that's what she was doing, going to school, whatnot. Fast forward, became a mom, and then I had seen that there was just a huge drought, as I always seen in years of breaking. You know, there was times where in Texas, so you had maybe 8 girls, and then next thing you know, it was back down to 1. And so that happened for a long time, and just like anything else, like here in Texas, you have to bring people. You know, I knew at some point after doing all these legwork of different events and community jams that I saw that was happening again, and I thought it was really, really important to bring something to Texas. One, to give inspiration to all these other little girls that were coming up that worked so hard. Like, there's these little girls that were coming to y'all's classes, and I was just like, man, these little girls work harder than some of these grown girls.
Yeah,
And I wanted to,
agree.
like, and I wanted to show them, like, I'm not the only one that's here. There's so many other girls in this world, and let's get them to Texas, you know? And so I kind of started taking the steps, and I was thinking of names. It took me like a year and a half, and nothing could really sit well with me, you know? And being that I was really tied with Rome, and still going to B-Boy City and whatnot, I basically called Denise, asked her if I can go with it. She gave me her blessing, said, if anybody that can do it, I know you can. I talked to Rome. I was like, hey, you know, can this be a branch off of B-Boy City as a sister to B-Boy City? And so he gave me his blessing. He's like, yeah, of course, you do it,
You know, he's from New York,
it's-
Romeo.
You talking about Sylvester Stallone?
It does sound like that.
We need Romeo.
Yeah, you can have some pizza too if
Y'all
you
know
want.
he talks like that.
Pizza, fucking go over there to the side.
Y'all
Big
go
Girl City.
crazy. He does sound like that when y'all hear him. I do a good Romeo impression. But
Shout out to
Rome and Dee for blessing me with that event. And, Rome backdoors us every year. We do 1 month from each other, B-Boy City and B-Girl City, or vice versa. I was on his judging panel the last 2 years and stuff like that. And then, so B-Girl City happened 2015.
And it's been growing every year.
Every
right?
year it's been
Every
growing,
year.
yeah.
And how many times have you said to yourself, am I going to continue doing this or am I going to stop? Have you said that? Has that ever crossed your mind?
No, I look at B-Girl City as it turning into the freestyle session of B-Girl City, hopefully 1 year. I see B-Girl City getting as big as freestyle session.
But there's B-boys
praying
in there too, to clarify, like.
Oh, the
the
Bonnie and
Yes.
Clyde,
Yeah, and
the Bonnie and Clyde
Yes.
this year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just to initiate that conversation a little bit is that the first year that I started, the first 2 years, there was always been like some sort of direction into what was going to go into it. I have had a plan. There's been a plan every year. And so I wanted to be able to invite girls, like, this is your jam, to come see, witness, real women DJs, the host, the judges, everything of every aspect of it, the graffiti writers. There was going to be no B-boys in it, but because I wanted it to be inviting. And luckily, I can't complain about B-boys not supporting. Every B-boy, I look around in the room, I'm always like, this is amazing. Like, there's a lot of B-boys in the room. From the start of it, 2015, 16.
B-boys that travel out of town to attend.
Yeah, I mean, we've had Kid Glide come in, Omen. I mean, y'all guys have entered. You were in the finals the year before. You know, I mean, it's just been amazing.
with the B-Girl J-Lu from Germany,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Japan's been in the house,
Yeah.
Denver,
Yeah,
Mexico,
yeah.
New Mexico.
More trying to stir the pot. Not gonna bite.
Say that.
We're gonna keep this positive.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it positive.
The dates, I that was a mastermind too. Like, it was, I knew that people have a 30-day visa, right? So I knew that they were going to the UDEF tour, the finals, or the UDEF, what's it called?
Silverback.
Silverback, thank you. I knew that Silverback was happening, so I always had it the weekend before Silverback, each year that I did it. So when they had your 30-day visa, hey, I could come to this free event because it was free the first 2 years.
Take advantage of their time in the U.S.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I think maybe the jump off of the international people coming into play.
Yeah.
You know, that first year it was so organic. I hardly didn't have to fly anybody down. Like,
It was
I talked to
huge.
Maka. Maka talked to one person talked to 5 other people, and next thing you know, we had JK47, Maka there hosting, and she's been with me every single year from the start. So shout out to Maka, shout out to Katrina.
Shout out to Maka.
Shout out Candy.
Yes.
Candy, oh my God, Candy,
All the
child of
B-girls holding
culture.
it down.
Yeah, and thank God for Lucia. She came in my second year. I think she came in, they helped sponsor the food for B-Girl City the second
Yeah,
year.
we fed
And I
all the judges.
know they saw me with my head cut off. They was like, and this girl was like, baby girl, you need some help. And I was like, no, I got it. I'm good. And then as I
Actually,
started.
I did one time. I was like, girl, you need to go put some lip gloss and brush your hair before you're going to be in the video. Like,
That's
you're
how it
gonna
started.
she was a mess. She was like, she had her clipboard. She looked like she didn't sleep. I was like, girl.
So that's what you do now? You just do the lip gloss and hair?
Yeah.
We're actually looking for a makeup artist
For the
our
hip-hop market,
podcast.
yeah.
We
Nah,
need
we
it.
came in and we served some people. Even I didn't realize how many vegan B-girls there were until her.
We
I was like,
did
"Dang,
not
nobody
realize
eats
how
meat."
many vegan B-girls there was. That
Maka-
was the first
especially
time.
Shout out to
Maka.
Maka.
Shout out to Maka.
Learning.
Yeah, Maka was like,
Maka will let
That's
it
so
be
crazy.
known.
yes.
Yes,
Is
yes.
there this and then?
The hell is this? That's all y'all got?
Oh, you gonna order that again,
You
Jeremy?
gon-
You gonna order that, Jeremy?
You want
for
to
real?
die, Jeremy? You want to
I
die?
think they cook this with butter, and then she go over there and be like, y'all need to cook this over again. I'd be like, let them know, girl.
Yeah.
We had a vegan restaurant. You better tell them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When Maka's around us, like, we're all like,
Scared what to order. Yeah, I saw Jeffro
Nice.
ordered like a vegan burger. He's like, I'm gonna try it. You know, he ordered a vegan burger.
I ain't scared of you, Maka, if you're watching. Just let you know.
no, that's dope,
I'll let you
man.
tell it.
B-Girl City is definitely
Yep.
something a lot of the B-Girls are talking about.
Man, everywhere I
But-
go, though, everyone talks about it. I was just in Vancouver, people talking about it.
Oh, that's so dope
Really?
to
That's
hear.
good.
But
And
I know just recently there's been a
Yeah.
lot of discussion about B-girls, B-boys,
Yeah.
the dominance of it, right? Like
Right.
there's more B-boys and B-girls, and that
Yeah.
there needs to be more B-girls doing this, right? I know Gravity put out a vlog
Yeah.
out. Jay Skills responded to it. Can someone pick up the phone?
That's gravity.
No one even goes.
No,
You know, we had Jay Skills respond to his vlog. We had Maka respond to his vlog. Wanda. I mean, we have several people responding to the vlog. And what I wanted to say is, like, how do you feel when someone says to you, like, this is, you know, it's B-Girl City. Why is it B-Girl City? Why is it only for B-Girls?
Right.
You know, how do you feel about that?
Well, first and foremost, it's not for just the B-Girls. I mean, how many years have B-Girls been saying that that's the title of B-Boy events in general? Like, for years since the start.
No one says it about B-Boy City.
No,
you
exactly.
Don't hear the B-Girls say, oh, this.
Exactly.
But I have heard.
It's been the start of
like,
time, you know.
I don't understand why B-Girl City is,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that if maybe you have a little bit more of open mind and kind of get the facts first prior hand to like really stating specific statements out there, obviously, you know, we should think about what we say sometimes and not just kind of, you know,
most of the time we don't.
And we don't, and that's the
things.
approach of it, and that's fine. But that's what stirs up, you know, controversy, and that's what stirs up conversation.
No, I thought it was healthy conversation.
Yeah,
like, you know.
and it's unfortunate. I didn't get to see it. I was traveling to an event. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't watching. I wasn't on my phone. You know, I was going to a community event, going to enjoy myself. And you brought it up to me, and then Lucia kind of let me know a little bit more information about it that night. And then I got home. It was late from after the market. By the time I got online to see, I was done. It was a lot. It was a lot. Whole weekend, busy weekend. So by the time I got home, it was already off on most of the people's social media. So I didn't get to see all the stuff. But I saw that Susie tagged me, Queen Envy. She tagged me in the video and had her 2 cents into what the conversation was. And then I went live and I kind of talked a little bit more of like the basics of it not being just a female event, but you know, it is a title of our event because it's for us, but it is for everyone too.
I think more, you know, most people who do feel that way, just come out, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's easy to make an assumption about something, but if you're not there, like then you can't say nothing.
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of people not only do that about Bigger City, but about all these other events.
Yep.
And that's the good, you know, the good part about YouTube is we can do things like this, create a platform like this. But the bad part about it is that there are a lot of people who just watch YouTube all day long and don't actually go and participate.
Exactly.
And then they can, you know, be judgmental and say, well, man, that event was terrible. Or the DJ was whack, or this or that.
Oh, God. I
but
see that so much.
It's
is
so
ridiculous.
much different being there than actually watching it.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
And vice versa. Sometimes it's better watching it. It's like, you know, I got invited to a Texans game for Monday Night Football. And like, I was already busy, but I wanted to go, but I didn't want to diss, like, the plans that I already had. But sometimes I'm just like, I'd just rather watch it at home, because it's so much closer.
For sure.
You know, so vice versa, it could work in whatever ways, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to say nothing about it.
Well, I definitely want to say something about that, too, though. Like, I've been noticing a lot of, and I can't say younger generation, just right now. I can leave an event easily, whether it's in Houston or wherever. I've been noticing groups of people just going off. If they didn't make a top whatever, they're complaining about, well, they didn't give me a right song, or that DJ, whatever, and this and this and that. There's always something. They leave there talking so much smack that they're talking about this in groups of people, and I feel like what's happening is that they are the ones drowning these events that could be amazing, but because they're going and leaving there with that negative vibe because they're mad at themselves because they couldn't wreck that shit. That's what's happening. And I keep telling people, and I'm trying to talk to all of these younger generations, let them know, like, if I'm hearing that, I've been starting to address things now where I never did before. And I think it's really important, like, maybe you should talk about that in private, you know, or talk to your crew in private about it. Like let's not put so much negativity back into these events where people put their heart and soul into this shit, you know?
There's a difference between trying to offer, like, critique with substance, like positive feedback, and then just complaining. You should be able to tell, you know, who's actually has some meaning and genuine feeling and thought behind, man, the event could be better this way, it could be better this way, but
and that's what I mean. I
rather
can
than
see
just
they're talking
complaining.
shit.
And you guys had that podcast with Palmer and put a lot of information out there when y'all were talking about how things could have, you know, talking about the events in general and, you know, not complaining about it, but like it could be better in this sense and things like that. So and we take critique back on the market with that. Every month after we finish, we go through pros and cons, like what could be better, what didn't flow well, what, you know, the setup, could it be different? You know, there's a lot of little things that we go back and forth as promoters, and you know, this is something we've been doing for years in general, so it works out.
Well, I think that's a business mentality.
How you grow.
When you can go back and, you know, acknowledge what you didn't
Yeah.
do right,
Right.
and you can go back and fix it.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of like b-boys, b-girls, or just artists in general don't implement in what they do because they have a lack of business, right? So everything is very raw.
Right.
Oh, whatever happens, happens. If you
No.
continue with that, whatever happens, happens, you're gonna keep saying that over and
Exactly.
over.
Which is
And
why
there's no plan. There's no goal. There's no vision.
No, you
right?
gotta organize.
Yeah, you have to go
Yes.
back and you know.
Yes.
So we do that here at Break Free. A lot of times, you know, people think like, "What do you guys do?" But we actually
We do the
we get so
breakthrough.
close to firing people. We get so close to hiring people. We go at it with each other in terms of like what we missed or what we didn't miss, and
You got to be real with each other.
you have to.
Yeah.
If y'all have
You
never
have to.
argued, then you're not real with
Yeah,
each
you
other.
got a
That's
problem.
just straight up,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
So-
like a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you,
it
you don't
is.
argue with
Yes.
your significant other,
For sure.
and there's some serious issues there.
No, we finally bumped heads, like her and I.
Yeah, how's it feel? No, I'm not
I
about
was
you,
like,
baby
look at
girl.
the child.
Her
No.
and I have
Every
gone
day. We bump
at
heads
it.
every day.
Yeah.
It's
Man.
she's
How's it
called
feel,
a
wife and
mediator.
husband and mixing business? Like, how does it feel?
We make it happen. We make it happen. Sometimes she's a filter, like, through her. you
Jesse,
know?
this is not how you fold the damn shirts, okay? I've told you so many
Oh, that's
times.
happened too.
My wife,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wife works here with me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, Roxanne, just stay on your side.
No,
Let me
let
do
me
my
tell you.
thing.
Shout out to Maybright.
Shout out to
Hey,
Roxanne.
Sean.
She's done the hip hop flea market as
Yeah.
I
well.
want you by my side.
Miss
all
you,
the
come
time.
back, come back.
Let her know.
Let her know.
But when are you going to start folding the shirts right, Jesse?
I can fold shirts.
He
now.
hangs
Okay.
them.
No,
He hangs them.
I don't, Jesse. If I could say something about you, I don't know you on the back end, but you remind me a lot of this guy. I bet you misplace and lose a lot of things.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold a second.
So,
Like,
Jess's
outside
problem,
the market, or are you talking about like my keys?
Just
or
in
something?
general.
No.
Just in general.
So a little
My
back.
boy,
Don't believe the hype, y'all.
my boy Jeremy has lost like 12 keys to Break Free.
No.
Actually,
Nah,
I'm very
More like
good with-
7.
He's
I still
okay
have
with
mine,
that,
bro.
but as far as like
See?
being organized within
That's probably
resale
Jeremy's.
folds, he
No.
does have, you know, he works 80 hours a week. I gotta give that to him. He gets up, he goes to work like at 4 in the morning. He doesn't come home till like after 6. So that's where I kind of came in as his wife to say, I'm gonna help you out. And I did visuals for 10 years at the Gap. So
She
I
didn't
kinda,
believe in it at first.
And I
She
didn't.
didn't believe in it at
I
first.
didn't.
I started
Nobody
with one
wants to
little
buy
rack, and she was like,
Nobody wants to
"What?
buy it.
What are you doing? What are you doing?"
he always
Fight,
used to,
fight,
he,
fight.
I know, right? Let's come off. So he always used to thrift. We did it together. Like that's just like when you were not poor, but my mom couldn't buy me a Tommy jacket in high school, so I had to go to when Sand Dollar was still here. I used to go to Sand Dollar and find all my
R.I.P.
goods.
Sand
I know.
Dollar, man.
Anyway, so he used to come in. He started to like I guess see some of the vintage game happening, and he got an idea of it.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
Well, you got an idea
So
through.
I did have stuff in my closet, and my boy Ray was at the house and was like, Ray Gun, shout out to Ray Gun,
Gazelle.
Gazelle Sports Vintage.
Hey.
He was there for Big Girl City, right? And he was looking through my stuff, and he was like, "Where'd you get this from?" I said, "I got it at the thrift." Oh, bro, you can make this, and I was like, "Can I really?" And then when I started to see that it was lucrative in that sense, and I was like, "Man, it's something that I already enjoy." You know, I didn't know you could do well like that. You know.
And so yes, I was against him bringing in. He started coming in with like 6 Goodwill bags like every other day, and I was like, you can't turn our
I
house.
just started thrifting.
I was like, you can't
crazy.
turn our house. Like literally, we used to have an office, and it just started piling up with bags of Goodwill bags, and I was like, you can't do this. Like this is our home. I didn't accept it. So I bought him a rack to hide in our bedroom. And I was like, you could only fill it up, and you have to sell everything, and then you have to fill it up again. That was my idea,
That's a
right?
good concept.
But then he did the Get Fresh Jam or the Get Fresh event, and he came home and he's like, I made like $300. I was like, okay, we gotta turn this into a business.
Let me throwing numbers out there.
I mean, it was a good event. Shout out to Get Fresh. That's kind of sparked my mind to say, you know what, we can make this into a business. You do the thrifting, I'll do the logistics, I'll do the organizing, I'll do all that stuff. But then he started working so much that I started to do the thrifting, and now sometimes if he gets a shot, he's like, I'm gonna run to the Goodwill. It's like just so he has it in him, like he needs to do it, you know.
So did you have to like research and figure out like
He was
what's
my guy, like he
what's
was my
good
mentor.
to buy, what's not good?
She would hit me up and be like, "What do you
Send him
think?"
pictures.
I'm like, "Oh, actually, she came blind one
Yeah.
time, right?" And she's like, "Hey, I got this stuff," and I was like, "Oh my god!" Oh.
He used
I'm
to be
"What's
like,
that?"
I don't know
She-
why she got
she's
that.
like, she's like $30. I spent $35. I'm like, "Oh man, just go donate it back. Get rid of it.
Donate it
Get
back.
rid of it."
So then he made me like a PowerPoint. He's like, it has to be Nautica, spell out. Tommy, he gave me years, he gave me single stitch, he gave me all the knowledge, right? I'm not gonna give away the formula, but he did. He gave me all the knowledge, and then I became pretty good at it. I find like all the good stuff.
She be smashing it, bro. Sometimes I'm like, where did you get that from? But it's all the spots that I told her about, and you're not gonna know.
Give her a massage tonight.
Not gonna know.
And yeah, we've made resale folds grow. It's good.
And
Right.
you're in a store now.
We're in a
Good time.
storefront.
Yeah.
So tell them where they can follow you guys.
Labeled Vintage Streetwear at 4001 Polk Street.
4009 Polk
4009.
Street.
I didn't even know the
Houston,
address.
Texas
You?
77023. It's right across the street from the Oak
And
Kroger.
your IG?
Upstairs to the left. IG is
Resale.
at
Underscore.
resale_folds. My logo, C's did my logo. You know, shout out to C's
Sick,
again.
okay.
You know what
Whoop,
I'm saying?
whoop.
I hit him up and he was like, yeah, you know, I can do the logo. And
Is that how the conversation went?
So,
I don't think Sauce talks like, I don't think Sauce talks.
Instagram.
Hey Jesse, yeah, I can do the logo.
That's exactly how he talks.
Yeah, man. Whatever.
And
you
so
Y'all need to work on y'all's impressions, man.
just to
Yeah.
go from there, man, you know, Resale Folds grew.
Romeo's in New York.
Resale Folds grew,
Sees
bro.
those kids' books.
I was doing any and every pop-up that I could do. It didn't matter where it was at. I was just doing it, and doing it wild.
I knew you.
Man, you
I know you so well.
you
But
vintage to the core.
People started to recognize me, and they would go find me, and they would want to buy something just because they like my personality, man. And I was like, it's working. It worked. It
But
worked.
also on the backhand of that, because it was working for him, I started to try to book us at a lot of events because I was like, if I can get his book, you know, I started to follow all these market pages and nobody would take us.
I will say that about
Nobody
you.
would
I
take
remember, like, I stopped around when you started, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember doing some of the pop-ups with you. I probably did like 2 or 3 before I stopped.
I remember the last one you did, and when you walked out,
Labels.
I was like, he never came back.
Why'd you stop?
No, let me tell this. But I remember from the times that I was
Let me answer for
that I was vending, and that I was like, I would watch, and you'd always be like, "Oh yeah, bro, look, man, that one's fresh, bro. Try it on. It will look really dope on you,
He's like
bro.
a salesman.
You know what? You buy that one, I'll throw this one here for $5. What
I
you
had
think?"
stickers.
He's always
I
been
was
like that,
selling
bro.
a fidget spinner.
Yeah, he was selling fidget
Bro,
spinners. And
I
I
was
remember.
just
So
hustling.
I was like, yeah, this fool's gonna be in it for the long run. All right.
It was hard when
People
all
person.
by
So
himself.
So why'd you stop though?
I don't know.
Breaking,
Different things. yeah.
Breaking, monster.
Well, this
Life.
is your platform.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
your platform.
Just other things.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't stop because of this.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 or 3 years. This just started.
Well, not this. I'm just saying, like the whole break. You guys have grown.
Nah,
I'll go into a little. Okay,
Come on, that's what
for
I
me,
want. I want you to
I'll
get
go into a
deep.
little more
So what
specifics.
happened, Jeremy?
Don't
So-
be
Can I
like-
He
tell you,
won't
hey,
let go of none of his
you're
guests,
buying
though.
too much crap.
No,
Stop buying
I was
this
making
crap.
good money off of it. She wants me to keep doing it again, but basically, like the game started to get bigger and bigger, and I guess I'm the type of person where it's like, if everyone else is, I'm not like a hipster in that way where everyone else is doing it, so I'm gonna stop. I just naturally stopped, and it started growing more. And the time that I was thrifting already, it was before the boom. And I didn't have the time to thrift a lot with my kids and with Break Free and everything, so I would pop in every once in a while. And there was times when we were slower here when I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna go stop at the thrift real quick. And I had to fit it in like that.
Before, you and
Yeah.
I used to go hit up thrift shops. all
Yeah,
the time.
but basically I couldn't go consistently. But I came in time of the game where you could still not go consistently and you could still find some
Find
stuff.
something.
But then it started booming more and more, and I would go and I would see fools rocking Tommy,
so
little
many.
kids with bushy hair,
Yeah.
like looking. I'm like, man, this fool's looking for the same stuff. Or he's been here, and it just became harder and harder to find stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I still started going to thrifts at the same time, and that's where I got my idea for my line. Where, okay, I'm not gonna look for Tommy and Polo and everyone's looking for.
Shameless plug.
I'm gonna look for like quality garments, things that so I can make my trip to the thrift store worthwhile. So I started stacking up on what I thought was quality gear or pants. Not a lot of people go to the pants aisle; they just go in the jackets, you know. And
Yeah.
so I started looking at all this and building up stock on that, and I print my line on high quality thrifted items. So I shifted more towards that. So it's a combination of all that, but like honestly, I know like if you want it so much, you make the time. But I guess I don't want to do that as much, you know. Like I don't want to just resell. I wanted to create my own line, and my priority shifted towards that.
Yeah, I know sometimes like I know the game because we've been around here for a long time. So
Oh, quick, let me tell a story. I remember when I first jumped in, right? I remember it was like I
Nah,
jumped in
man,
the resale.
don't cut me off.
Sorry. Oh no.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, see,
man.
kill our sound. Oh my God.
He's crazy. Everything good?
See what happened?
MVP, distress call.
See what happened? You cut me off.
We good. No, I was gonna
Go
say
ahead.
this. So when I started reselling, like I remember the first or second month, right? If nobody knows the game, there's this thing called rap tees, right? From the 90s. So it's basically at the flea markets in the 90s.
Let me write that
people,
Wait, I know. Oh, real quick.
Yeah,
before-
you already know what I'm about to say,
Before
right?
you go there, I remember when I found that. Even Fabricio hit me up and was just like,
Let me tell the story.
He was like low key mad.
Let me tell the story. Let me tell the story. So I'm like a month in it,
He
right?
told me too.
I'm like a month in it. In this full like season. I'm doing it, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna start looking too. Like you
Well,
seen
I
that?
would go to thrift
Well,
already.
you would, but like you saw me making money off of it, so you're like, I'm gonna go and check some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. so this
Any
fool,
chance I get to
this is
make
probably
money,
I'll
like
go.
this is
Let's
probably
get it
like the second stop he went to, like since I started reselling, and then. He sends me a picture, and for everyone who doesn't know, these rap tees from the 90s, they got huge, and they're bootleg shirts
We actually brought
that
you
used to
one
sell.
today.
What happened? You guys brought They used to sell for like $5 at flea markets, and they were just bootleg shirts of like the popular artists in the
Giving away
90s.
the formula. All right.
Popular, everyone knows about them
Right,
now.
yeah.
I don't
But basically in the 90s, like if you wore them, you were considered like a bum or like a crackhead or whatever.
Yeah.
But now all these years later, they're so hard to find, and they actually turned out to be pretty dope after all these years, like crazy graphics.
Yeah.
They're usually the huge print, you know what
I
I'm
remember they
saying?
used to be all over King's
Yeah.
Flea Market.
Yeah, man. So you could
All
cop them back then
over.
for $5, but now they started to resell. They've probably gone down in value, but
They
they
average.
used to sell for like 500, 800, 400, like crazy.
Honestly, it's gone.
Yeah,
up.
it depends on the
On which
design
type, you
and
know.
what-
Yeah,
yeah,
if
what
it's
you
But this fool
want.
sent me a picture of a Mike Tyson one, and he was like, "Is this one good?" I was like,
Low key, you should have been like, down, put it back.
Front and back.
See,
front and back.
that's where he's whack. Cause low key, he didn't want to tell me what.
I did tell you.
No, you didn't tell
and
me.
I wanted to buy it off of you.
Fabricio told me.
Nah, man.
Fabricio told me.
But yeah,
and
this one-
I honestly, I didn't want to sell it.
Yeah.
I found
But did
Mike
you like
Tyson.
it? Like you saw
It
it?
was
and
sick.
you
It was
liked
dope. It was
Yeah.
really, it was a dope shirt.
It's dope,
And the only reason why I didn't keep it, because I didn't care about the money.
Oh,
The
but
only
you
reason
bought
why I
it.
didn't keep it because it was too big for me. It was like a 2X,
Mm.
right? But a 2X is really like an XL.
And you
right?
flipped, and how much you paid for it?
I paid like $1.75, $2.
And you flipped it for what?
270.
250, 275.
Yo, but
Like in a day.
it's
in a day.
classic
Yeah.
Moy. I get into this thing, and I'm so into it. And this fool goes for one time and finds the thing that I'm looking every day
so
and night
Mauricio
for.
to this day,
He's a Scorpio.
Roundhouse, he tells me, he's like, I'm not gonna lie, I was just thinking about that the other day and I was just mad. He told me
Tight.
this at the market this past Sunday. He was like, I still think about that day and I still get mad. He goes, how do you just not go so much? And we go all the time. and
Yeah,
he
like have you ever
finds
thrifted one?
one off.
Never.
off
I mean,
item.
nice. So you've
Never.
done it all these years.
You're rare.
still
I
thrifting.
should probably
Very
go
rare.
then,
They're
because I
that
get lucky
rare,
like
bro.
that too.
Me too.
That's
I get
where
lucky like
Scorpios
that.
goes.
Like I was in Japan.
Yeah, you do.
And I
Oh, you
came
got
up
another
with-
story? You found another one sold for 800? We know the story already,
I mean,
Moy.
I came up with stuff.
You did,
You know.
did.
But then I sold it low key too.
But that's a part of the vintage game is like that feeling when you're in a thrift store and you like look up and you see the same cats. You know what they're looking for because they come flaunting. They wear their Tommy satchel bag and they have like their
You give yourself away
They give
when you're
themselves
rocking
away.
Yeezys and you got the Supreme.
they got their headphones on. And
Oh, so what do you go with?
I just go in my
You
I
work
go in
uniform?
steel toe boots.
You go in your work uniform?
Yeah, you know.
And when I go, I put my hat on. I don't wear any makeup. I literally look like one of the other ladies looking for jeans to send back to Mexico. I'm just like,
Oh, like right now?
yeah, just like.
They
So-
pass it. The
but I
workers
get-
talk to you.
I
They
get
hand you
that
stuff to fold.
No, I
Yeah,
get
how
that
much is
anxiety. No, I do. I get that anxiety because I know they're right in my aisle, and I'm coming. You know, I'm so close to them. And I'm like, I gotta hurry, because they go
Man,
like this. They go
see, it got so
fast.
bad for me. I remember towards the end, I started to walk in, and I would see fools that looked like
And
it,
you
and I would
walked
just
out.
walk right back out. I'm not even gonna
I
worry
still
about
go in.
Like-
I still go, man.
I still randomly go. Like Roxanne likes to look for things,
Yeah.
old purses and stuff. So sometimes we'll go. Hey, what's up, man? Like
Yeah.
I see everybody I know that's at the market.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's all a bunch of fools with bushy hair.
it. Yeah, exactly.
But see, and that's the thing. Your creativity comes into play because now you just don't go to the Goodwill at the corner store no more. Now you start finding plugs.
You gotta go like Rosenberg.
And you start going
Alvin.
to different spots.
Yeah.
know
So
what
what's
I
your
mean?
favorite spots?
Just don't come to Spring.
It's
Texas.
actually in Conroe. It's
Oh.
way out there.
Oh, okay, and you keep going, and keep going,
All the
keep
way
going.
till you hit the trees and then
You
jump.
keep going.
Because you're not gonna find out.
Yeah,
Man, but you never know. You could even go to the one down the street because
yeah.
it's timing. It's all
Yeah.
about timing.
Yeah, it
Sometimes you walk in, and I think that's what happened when I found that Mike Tyson. I walked in.
Yeah, no
they didn't
skill
have
at all.
Nothing. They just had that one.
No skill
No
at all.
skill at all. It was all luck.
Yeah. You gonna tell me there's a skill to this?
Oh,
You just gotta know.
ask
There
him
we
that
go.
question.
There we
Oh,
go.
ask him. Oh, that's a good question for
You gotta
them.
be
Ask him
educated.
that.
I mean, come on.
educated.
Educated.
Right. But a skill and education.
You
is
gotta
two
be able
different
to
things.
move your fingers.
It takes
and
skill to
have
throw a
this.
market.
It is a skill to be able to do this.
Yeah.
You have to be able to literally.
Yeah,
do
Moy.
this.
You look like you're playing a bass.
That's skill.
I can run through a rack in like 2 minutes.
Hey,
Not kidding.
Palmer, he was at the store, 4009 Polk Street, Houston, Texas 77023. He was there, and he was at the top rack, right? He's looking for a shirt, and he's doing this. And then he goes to the other rack, and then he goes,
I'm tired.
oh, man, my shirt.
I
He's
got
like,
tired just looking
he's
at
like,
that.
I want to buy a shirt, but man, dude, my shoulders hurt. I was like, oh, man.
Well, maybe you got to be athletic. Not skilled.
No, that's not true either.
Man, dudes be asking me for hats. I jump up there, bang, grab the hat. This one, boom, come back.
Well, yeah, man. Let's wrap everything up. Let's leave it at what. Don't give away everything, but what are the future plans? What do y'all want to let people know about Big Girl City, Hip Hop Vintage Flea Market? What can they look forward to 2019? What's the deal?
You could do Big
Well, Big Girl City, we're actually going into doing a lot of collaborations this next year. So we're doing a lot of qualifiers. Should be going to Mexico, going to San Diego. So a lot of collaborations going on this next year.
Where people can win a trip to Big Girl City.
Yes. And I'll be doing the announcement flyer out soon. We are changing the date for Big Girl City this next year for 2019 because it's been very difficult to kind of work around the hurricane season, and it's always questionable the weekend of the rain and the
Yeah, there's always like delays.
Exactly.
Or
There's just a
canceled
lot
flights.
going on, and obviously, like even the year before last when we did Big Girl City during the Harvey, we didn't even know we were going to be able to do it. So yeah, that's going to happen. And
Reading face, you guys. This is his reading face.
and then and
And
just
you
on
drove
the yeah, apparently really bad.
Your story almost died.
And so we just want to keep on growing the market and being able to showcase a lot more of the culture and other things like the beat juggling and a lot of little things that are going to happen. So we have a lot of new things that are going to be happening on the entertainment side and more artists, some performances, things like that. So we're just trying to make sure we circulate all that
one
in the
day
next
we'll
year.
go out and do a live podcast at the market.
That'd be dope. That'd be
Like
so
a booth,
dope.
Set up a booth.
Let's
What
do
you
it.
think, Josh? Very possible.
Let's do it.
Very positive.
Yeah.
He's like,
That'd be
yeah.
fresh.
People
Live
love that.
podcast.
So what's the social media for Big Girl City?
It's IG's Big Girl City, Twitter's Big Girl City, BGIRLCITY.
Oh,
Can't spell.
Stop it.
Northside High School.
You know,
Northside.
I dropped out.
That's that
Houston
Northside.
Independent School
I'm a
District.
dropout, but hey, look where I'm at.
We know
It's
how
all
to spell on
good.
the
Hey, you don't have
South.
to tell everybody that.
It's okay.
You're a
I'm
college
proud.
graduate.
I'm proud of my testimony. Thank you. So yes, you can do
Stay
it
in
too.
school though.
Big Girl City,
Stay
follow
school,
Big Girl
for
City,
sure.
doing amazing
All right,
things.
Hip Hop
Ba-
Vintage Flea
Big
Market.
Girl, baby girl.
Yeah.
With the market, just a lot. I feel like with every market, it's getting bigger, it's getting better. So I mean, it's even hard to say as of right now, but things just happen for us. Like people just kind of fall into our lap in a sense, like they just want to be a part of it.
Right.
And from there, we just keep growing with that. So
Yeah.
I do have a vision though. Eventually, we're not gonna be at that place for forever, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you need a bigger place.
Yeah.
I have a vision of, we were gonna do the George R. Brown, right? And which is a huge, arena, and it didn't happen. And I truly feel that
It didn't
things
happen
happen for a reason, man.
Right.
But I see it. I have this vision, man, and it's gonna be good, and I know it's gonna happen, and eventually it's gonna get super huge to where we have bigger artists,
Right.
huge artists. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Perform, and it's gonna be something that because the market already, people come from out of town,
Yeah.
and everybody they hit us up from Vegas, LA, say, man, I need to throw one here
Yeah.
in my city. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But right now,
So like a potential national tour of it or something like that.
May-
Or pop-ups in different cities.
That is something I've been talking to them about.
also,
we
like-
just have to make sure the logistics work for everybody.
But also, again, like with the market, man, we've been able to help people that we're
Yeah.
close to provide, try something out, right?
Hey, Heavy Duty 25 says I'm a high school dropout too.
You a heavy duty.
Hey, no, but I lost my train of thought. But
Damn, Heavy Duty.
heavy duty.
Tour.
it's because
Right.
Doing it for the people.
Tour,
No,
doing
doing
it.
it for the people, right? So like our cousins, man, they're vegans, right? And they were like, man, we would love to try something out. We've always wanted to try something out, and they did a booth, right?
Yeah.
They did vegan hot dogs.
Very successful
And they
booth that
sold
day.
out. The
Yeah.
whole market loved it. People who eat meat
Yeah.
didn't even know they were vegan hot dogs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put all my boys down on DJing, right? Like Palmer's done it, Joel's done it, John's done it. I mean, different artists that we know, friends, help friends vend.
Yeah.
This Sunday, a buddy that I grew up with, he had his taco truck out there, or his
Yeah.
rice bowl.
So
truck,
it's a matter of giving opportunity to everybody within, not just our families, but people out there.
So be able to have your own platform
Yeah.
and help other people out, you know, and then I eventually see it growing to where people can volunteer in a sense that they get hours to add to their resume, you know, or like if you're doing community service, you can go to the hip hop flea market and do 8 hours there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I see it growing
Cool,
like
I got
that.
some hours.
You know what I mean?
Echo
So-
might need some hours.
Yeah.
I see it like that. And again, you know, maybe like a business class here or there, some way to, you know, to help steer these people in a positive direction because they're already doing it for a good cause anyway, right?
Yeah.
So.
We're definitely learning as we're going. Like
We are for sure. I mean, we've used markets for the autism awareness and just different
We
platforms.
did the autism awareness.
We did the jacket drive this
shout
past
out to Break
one.
Free for giving a free class or free semester to one of our
Yes,
one of our kids.
yes, thank
he
you
was
for
on
that,
the spectrum, and we raised enough money to get him here, and I think he's still here, right?
He
Don't
is.
want his mom
He-
old.
yeah.
She
He
loves
loves
it.
it. He loves it. He loves C's. His
Don't
mother
let
just
this-
He
boasts
draws really
about
good,
C's.
man.
He's
Yeah,
a
he
great
He
little
draws
artist.
really, really good.
Yeah. His
No,
mom's always like saying that.
it sounds like you guys are doing amazing things, you know, in the community and also on the business level. So we wish you guys nothing but success. Keep doing it. And I'm sure somewhere in the future we'll continue to work with you guys on other platforms. But real quick, give the IGs one more time before we sign off.
At
So-
Hip Hop Vintage Flea Market HTX, that's on Instagram and Facebook, and also our next market is January 6th, so please save the date. Come out 2011 Leland Street, 12 to 5. Find us there. You can find Resale Folds in Big City. We are the Hip Hop
At
Vintage Flea Market.
resale_foes on IG. We're not on Facebook.
We are on
We're in-
Facebook.
Are we really?
He don't have, he's not allowed to have a Facebook.
Get it
but
together,
yeah,
guys.
Oh.
we have
So anyway,
We'll save that for the
we're
break
at
room.
we're
You
at
come on the
a-
break
Right.
room. Yeah, that's a break room story.
4009 Polk,
Join us at
4009
lunch.
Polk Street.
That's a.
Yeah, we do. We have Facebook.
4009 Polk Street. You can find us upstairs to the left.
Yeah.
We,
Labels Vintage.
we share a store with Labels Vintage Streetwear. You can find all our gear that we have
Royalty.
online.
And baby girl, one more time. IG.
B Girl City, BGIRL
And
City.
your personal.
B Girl Baby Girl.
Whoa. See something like that.
Oh, well, at bad listeners.
Big
then.
girl,
Here we
baby
go.
girl,
Yeah.
and,
That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah,
Guys, I'm trying to
And
get
he
y'all to
gets a
promote
little.
yourself.
He gets, yeah,
You can also go to TBS Clothing. You know, I've
There
been
you
doing.
go.
Shout out
I've
Black
been
Sheep.
Shout out to Texas
Yes,
Black
Texas
Sheep,
Black
man.
Sheep. We've been
Yeah,
doing it
for
for
real.
going on 13 years now. Yeah, man.
Nate, you would
So
laugh.
they got a lot of things happening, and
Yeah.
so we're very thankful for them to come out,
Yeah.
We love
share
you
some
guys.
days with Jeremy and myself. So we appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you guys. man.
Any last words before we leave?
Oh man, just keep it positive, keep it 100, keep it real, be transparent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Word.
If you
1,000.
make the drive and you come to
1,000.
the flea market, you'll enjoy it. I promise.
yes, there's no
Promise.
drive-bys
And
happening.
bear
we
with us on
promise.
that waiting list, please. You know, this it's right now. It's actually February, March, looking like you might get on the lineup. But
Yeah.
just bear with us. We'll try to get you in
Money.
there as fast as we can. I promise.
All right. Much love from Break Free
Thank you,
Worldwide
Break Free
Headquarters.
Worldwide.
Every Tuesday at 6. Be sure to check out the break room tomorrow, lunchtime.
I'm coming to the break room in
Yeah, we need
2019, man. I'm gonna take a day
Come
off.
on.
Shout out
Yeah,
Houston
you
Media
gonna wait
Source.
Super fun.
Shout out
Shout
Houston
out to
Media
our
Source.
sponsors, Houston Media Source,
Monster Energy.
Monster
Alex.
Energy, Break Free Worldwide.
Much love, world.
CYE Lifestyle.
Peace out.
Peace.
Echo, you ready to break?